This is a follow along routine that works out your spine, your hips, and even your shoulders. For this, we're gonna do about 3 to 5 reps per exercise, and you just wanna make sure that each movement is slow and controlled. So we're gonna start with something called cat-cow. So for this one, we're going to a tabletop position. My shoulders are over my wrists, my hips are over my knees. I'm gonna start by arching my spine up as far as I can. I'm looking at my belly button and I'm tucking my hips under, so it's like a hissing cat back. And then from there, I'm gonna go into a cow. My head comes up, butt comes up, belly sags down. I'm really lifting my chest up, and it's like I'm taking my sternum through the arms into the wall that's in front of me. So that is 1 rep per movement. So I'm gonna go back to my cat for rep 2, and back to my cow. And we can also incorporate our breath with this. You can exhale into your cat back. And once your exhale is done, then inhale the cow. When the inhale is done, exhale the cat. So that way, your breath is timing your movements and it's a little bit easier to go slow instead of fast. And then one more cow, just for good measure. This next one is called a T-roll. So you need some space out to the side of you. I'm gonna roll onto my back. I'm gonna have my feet flat on the floor. My arms are out like a T with the palms face up. My knees are gently going to squeeze together, and I'm going to take my knees to the left. My right foot is going to stack on top of my left foot, so it's not on the ground anymore. Now this right shoulder has a tendency to want to pop up, but I want to see if I can keep that right shoulder down. And then you have the additional option to turn the head to the right as the knees are going to the left. Now I don't want to stay here too long, so I'm going to take the head and the knees back to the center and then drop to the other side. Again, taking my time, no rush with these. Just go to the point where you feel a little bit of stretch, but no pain. And then coming back to center, so that's 1 rep on each side. And then to the other side. And you can use your breath with this as well. So I'm going to exhale when the knees go to the one side. At the end of the exhale, inhale back to center. Exhale to the other side. Again, relying on the breath and following the breath helps you slow down a little bit more, to take your time, and incorporating the breath also helps you with the movement as well. It just helps you get a little bit deeper. Good. So the next one we're gonna do is called open books. So you're gonna roll onto your side here. I'm gonna pull my knees up towards my face, so I have a right angle between my thigh and my torso, and a right angle between my upper thigh and my shin bone. From there, I'm going to take this bottom arm and press it on top of the leg, just as a reminder to keep those knees down. And this other hand here is going to start by reaching forward, and I'm going to make an arm circle. My eyes follow my hand as I reach all the way up and around, continuing to open up here, trying to get my shoulders to the floor. It's okay if it doesn't make it, but don't try to force it where the knee comes off the other knee. Just go as far as you can, just honor where you are, and then complete your circle all the way back around. And then we're going to do another one. Good. And just like the other ones, we can incorporate our breath. I like to inhale till my hand gets to the 12 o'clock position, and then I'll exhale all the way back around to the 6 o'clock position and start over. If that arm overhead causes you some pain in the shoulder, you can just go straight out to the side and just open up straight to the other side without going overhead. So I'm going to do the last 2 reps like this. And then this last one on this side. Still exhaling as I twist out, inhaling as I return. And then I'm just going to flip on to the other side. Again, pulling my knees in towards my face at a right angle, bottom hand on the knees, knees together, and inhale up, exhale out to the side, and start to inhale again on your next circle. Eyes follow the hand the entire time. So even the head isn't stagnant here. It has a job as well. Trying to reach that hand as far forward as possible. You might feel an extra tug in the side of the body. Feels kind of nice. Last one. And good. From here we can sit up for our next one that's on our hips. Excuse me, it's working on our hips. We're doing something called a pigeon. So this one's gonna be a little bit modified from a yoga stance, but you have a bend in the knee and you have a heel to your knee. Excuse me. So you're gonna take your knee, this front knee, and lean over this front leg, putting the elbows on the ground as best as you can. Hopefully you're gonna be feeling a stretch on that butt cheek that you're of the leg that you're leaning over. You're gonna stay there just for about 2 to 3 seconds, not very long. Walk your hands back up and switch to the other side. So watch what I did there. My feet stay in the same spot. My knees just lift up and then drop to the other side. It's a little bit easier for transition. And then you're going to the other side. Again, stay for about 2 to 3 seconds. And walk the hands up and to the other side. This gets a little bit deeper in that hip joint. This is an excellent one to do if you've been sitting a lot or if you've been standing a lot. It's just all around a great joint mobility to do. 2 more on each side. And last one. Again, I'm in no hurry with this. Just like to feel out each of these bits of mobility as much as I can. And that's complete. All right, so for our last one, or last 2 rather, you may need a chair. Just something that's stable, that you're able to sit back in a little bit, and then maybe a block. If you don't have a yoga block, you can also use a thick, sturdy book. That would also do well. So I'm gonna widen my feet out, and this one's gonna be a little bit more of a stretch versus a mobility. So we're gonna see if we can pause and hold each one of these for at least 30 seconds. So this one, we're gonna hold each position for about 10 seconds each. So I have my feet out wide. This allows some space for my belly to go so I can breathe a little bit better. But I'm going to use this block and bow forward, see if I can reach as far forward as I can with the arms, making sure my feet are flat on the floor, they're stable. And my hands on the block here, I'm allowing my chest to sink down towards the floor. I'm thinking about my tailbone is reaching down towards the chair still. And I'm going to sit here and breathe, allowing the exhales to take me a little bit deeper to the floor with the force of gravity. So I'm not forcing myself down, I'm just letting gravity do the work for me on the exhale. So I'm staying here for about 10 seconds. After that 10 seconds, I'm going to shift my block to the right, still keeping my arms stretched out. My left sit bone is really pressing down into the chair, watching that doesn't pop off, still glued down to the chair. My left arm is really reaching forward, staying here for 10 seconds, and breathe. Still reaching the arms forward. After that 10 seconds, coming back to the center. Don't be surprised if you can go a little bit deeper. Still reaching through the arms. Still keeping the breath flowing. I like to feel the expansion of the ribs. On that inhale, it's a nice little stretch there. And finally to the left. Keeping that right sit bone down. Watch it doesn't come off the chair. Still reaching through this right arm. Arms aren't lazy, they're reaching, they're not resting. Good. And then finally, to center one last time. Ooh, so you can get a little bit deeper, even if it's just a couple millimeters. Still reaching through the arms, through the fingers. And then from this one, if you need a little bit of break, you can take the hands off the block to your knees and slowly roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. Don't stand up immediately. There's a blood pressure change. You'll probably feel it. So just sit here for a few moments and then you can stand up and do whatever you need to do. Or if you want to continue to our last one, the child's pose, we're in the same stance, but this time I'm going to bow completely forward. I can take my block to the side. My head relaxes down. And I still have my sit bones, my tailbone glued to the chair here as best as I can. Feet flat on the floor, very sturdy. My hands can rest on the floor. My personal favorite is grabbing opposite elbows and allowing the weight of the arms to drag me down. Just a little bit more with gravity. Again, you want as little work as possible here. Just allowing the low back curve to relax and release. And get breathing. And with this one, if you're feeling any sharp pain, do not continue. Come out of the pose very gently. I would highly consult a chiropractor if that's the case, if you have any sharp pain. That's usually a nerve issue that's going on. And we're going to stay here for about 30 seconds. If at any point you need to come up, that's all right. But when you come up, just like the sleepy warrior, I want the hands on the floor to have support there. And press up, bring it to the knees. Again, rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae. My chin is coming up last. Woo. And then pausing there for a few seconds. So thanks for joining me on this part, and then stay tuned for the next part.